on. It's cold. Um, Rubbing my face like I ain't washed it this morning. Anyways, I wanted to speak about something. Um, so I didn't read the Bible till I was 39 years old. 39 years old. I did not read it in its entirety. Matter of fact, I didn't read it at all until I was 39 years old. And when I look out today and I see people explain Christianity, I say, man, it's wrong because it's missing something. Like when I hear people from Christian nationalism, um, I hear grace and mercy, grace and mercy, grace and mercy, grace and mercy. That's fine, but there is still a remnant, and the Bible speaks about this remnant. Speaks very, very well about this remnant. And before we start, I'm going to get into explaining to you what the word remnant means in the dictionary. So the word remnant in the dictionary means a small remaining quantity of something, a surviving trace. So when I read the Bible, it says that these people, it was a group of people that were scattered all over the world, a remnant scattered all over the world. And as I look out and I can, with my eyes, with spiritual discernment, see a remnant, Christian nationalism teaches that there is no remnant. Nope, just grace and mercy. Everybody get in with grace and mercy. That's it. Only grace and mercy. No remnant, just grace and mercy. So we skip past the remnant part and we get straight to the grace and mercy. That's the part of Christianity that sucks to me because people don't teach how it's supposed to be. And then you get people inside of the church and they don't know any better because they only know what their pastor is teaching. And if your pastor is teaching you a half truth, then he is teaching you no truth. What's going on, my good people? Speaking about the word remnant, let's read that again. A small remaining quantity of something, a surviving trace. So when I read the Bible, it said that it was a remnant. When Jesus came back, Jesus was looking for the remnant. The Hebrews is what Jesus was looking for. Now you can be a fool and say, you know what, the remnant, they don't even exist anymore. We wiped them all up out here. No, you only wiped out the pictures and their names and their father's last names. The remnant is still here. Yes, yes, yes. God is definitely good. Let's talk about this remnant. Because when I be listening to people in Christian nationalism, all I hear is grace and mercy. So y'all can get to Jesus with just grace, mercy, and saying, I love you, Jesus. But what if Jesus came back? You didn't know what he looked like because you didn't know what his remnant looked like. That's what I'm talking about. You cannot skip up and say, I'm going to skip over this remnant part and we're going to go straight to grace and mercy. That's like saying, we're going to put glory on top of glory, on top of glory, on top of glory. That's like having mashed potatoes and somebody say, you want some gravy? And then they start putting gravy on there and they just keep stacking gravy on top of gravy. That's like saying, I'm gonna stop using examples. Let's just get back to the message. There is a remnant. Let me read this again. A small remaining quantity of something, a surviving trace. So when I listen to Christian nationalists talk, I told you I did not read the Bible for the first time till I was 39 years old. Right now I'm 45, so I'm a 6-year-old believer in Jesus Christ. My thing is, if you are in a church that preaches Christian nationalism, you are going to miss out on Jesus because you don't know what Jesus's remnant looks like. You don't know what Jesus's remnant looks like because they done wiped the face of the remnant away. When Jesus came, Jesus was looking for a specific subset of people. Subset. Let me go, them Hebrews. Let me go deal with them Hebrews. That was the remnant of that time. That was the remnant. These people had gone up and come on down. Gone up. And by the time Jesus see them, these people are lost again. These people are lost again, full of demons. Got all types of stuff going on. Still a remnant. Still a remnant. You can't just get to grace and mercy and say, no, we're gonna forget that remnant part. That's not important to me. We're just gonna focus on grace and mercy. That's like putting gravy on top of gravy, man. Like, man, we got enough gravy. It'd be like, oh, excuse, could you stop putting on the gravy? They'd be like, nah, we like our gravy. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is, on the search for Jesus Christ, people, because Jesus is coming, I want you to understand it is a remnant. You can't just skip past the remnant and say, we're going to go to grace and mercy, because if Jesus comes again and you don't know what Jesus looked like, because you don't accept Jesus' remnant in your heart, you ain't turned your heart around from what these people done told you about this remnant, you're going to get stuck out. You're going to get stuck out. You're going to be on the other side of this grace and mercy that you seek so bad. And to the remnant, you're not absolved just because you're the remnant. You're not. You're not absolved because you're the remnant. If you are the remnant, hold on, let me say this again. The remnant is a small remaining quantity of something, a surviving trace. Who survived in this country? Who survived? Okay. So my thing is, if you don't know what the remnant looks like, if you don't know what the new Egypt looks like, you're going to be lost in the sauce. Somebody told me, this ain't new Egypt. I was like, well, why they got pyramids and stuff on your dollars? Why do they represent the eagle? Why don't you go back to Deuteronomy 28 and say, see what it says, what animal is going to swoop down on these people? What did it say, an eagle? Okay. So my thing is, don't ignore the remnant. You might miss Jesus ignoring the remnant. Oh, just grace and mercy. Grace and mercy. That's all I be seeing in Christian nationalism. Grace and mercy. Let's get past what we done to these people. Let's get to the grace and mercy. Need that gravy, baby. I need gravy on top of gravy. Glory on top of glory. But if you miss that remnant and you say, I'm looking for Jesus, grace and mercy, you might miss him. And I hate that to be you. Peace out.